by the way, the poops now with this carnivore thing, they don't really smell. It's so crazy because I know when you're vegan, your poops don't smell. And when you're not, your poops still smell. And I was high protein for years, and my poops would smell. So it's kind of confusing now for them to not smell. Like, what's the difference? The few grams of carbs that I would have. Update 3:45 in the morning of May 31st, 2024, Friday, and I just had breakfast. First I drank my hot water in a 1 liter jug with 1 tablespoon of salted butter and had a bowel movement. Sorry, TMI, but that's what we came here for. Of course, that was the goal. Who doesn't want to poop? Who wants to be full of shit? Got that out of my system and then filled up another jug full of water. Rinse, lather, rinse, repeat. And I have to mention that for some reason, the butter seems to taste really salty. I don't know if my taste buds, something's happening to them or what, but the butter just tasted saltier than I remembered it, being just a few days prior. To the point that I even was like, because, I'm using butter balls from Blender Lake's brand. This is not a promo. And I was like, is there extra salt? I looked at the ingredients just to double check if there's a difference, because normally I use different type of butter, like a different brand, Walmart normally. So I looked at the ingredients of the Blender Lakes and everything was the same. I was like, because, who likes salty balls? Anyway, I then drank the second jug with the butter again in hopes of just completely immigrating. What is that word? It's not immigrating. It sounds like that. I'm not going to look it up. And it did work because I was also concerned, am I going to end up getting those headaches from overhydration or what? But that's not what happened, because you have to be careful. At this point, I'm at half a gallon of water or 2 liters. You know what I mean? Thankfully, like I said, it did work. You may not have these problems on your carnivore journey. I'm just journaling my experience, and hopefully it's going to bring comfort to someone else who may be going through similar stuff. The hot water salted butter combination was bringing about diarrhea type number 2, and it's not unusual for me when I've drunk so much water to kickstart the system. So, and the point is to get everything out. Shit. I mean, I don't think that's normal, by the way, for someone to need to aid the poop and for it to come out like that. It's like, what if I had drank 1 glass of regular water, which I did just before waking up, maybe an hour prior. I did, and I weighed myself afterwards. I was still 96.4 with that water. I was like, interesting. I'm just looking forward to a time and a place in my life mentally where if I feel thirsty in the middle of the night, I just go and drink, which I do. I don't not drink, but I just drink without worrying about, is this going to affect my weight tomorrow morning? It's just like, I'm looking forward to a time where I'm going to free myself from the prison of weight issues and eating disorders. They still have me by the balls a little bit. A little more than a little bit. Either I listened to a recording where I burped. I was like, damn, my burps are louder than I thought, and I know they're loud. It's just more like, boo. There's a word that I'm looking for, but I don't have it now. So I did the pooping twice. Oh, the first poop, by the way, the poops now with this carnivore thing, they don't really smell. It's so crazy because I know when you're vegan, your poops don't smell. And when you're not, your poops still smell. And I was high protein for years, and my poops would smell. So it's kind of confusing now for them to not smell. Like, what's the difference? The few grams of carbs that I would have. Anyway, so we did that. What was I even thinking of saying? Yesterday was a good day. I had a lot of, I had a decent amount of energy. I was kind of nervous because I was in bed the whole of the day before. And so I was like, oof. And also because I'm rationing my thyroid medication. So I was okay. Yesterday was second day of rationing. Today was day 3. And I had another third of the pill. And so, the second time I went to poop, it was sometimes I'll even massage my stomach as I'm doing so, just to help everything push out, and it all did. And I looked into the bowl, and it was light yellow. Basically, it was the butter that I just ate. I feel like my life's coming kind of full circle in a way, because there was a time when I've always, like, for a couple of decades now or more, been drinking a lot of fluids, hot fluids in the morning, and it helps me poop. Probably my body just told me to do so, and I realized that it worked, and I kept doing it, because your body does tell you. Anyway, I feel like the food is moving upwards. I just ate. Anyway, and I'm just enjoying laying down on this couch like this. I really need to move. There's pillows and the stuff that's on this, whatever. So there was a time when I would do the drinking, right? And then I would go and poop. And I would see the vegetables that I had eaten, they would come out exactly that way. And there would be times when I would drink hot water, the apple cider or whatever, a lot of it in the morning, and then eat tomato to just jog my digestion, make me poop, or my bowels, whatever. And that tomato would come out. So, but then I forgot about that, because I would drink hot fluids and it wouldn't come out. I started by making it black tea. It would still work. And then I started putting creamer and it would still work. And then got to a time where it didn't. Maybe it's the stuff that I was adding to it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, Seeing the butter come out wasn't a complete shock, because there was a time in my life when the stuff that I had just eaten would come out. And whenever I would Google that or whatever, the internet would be like, there's no way, your intestines are so this and that and whatever. There's no way your stuff will come out exactly. I'm thinking, but it is. So, okay, whatever. So, yeah, for me, it just felt like being home. It's probably not healthy, but it's like, whatever. To me, that just means I have emptied everything out. So now let's start our day. Who cares? I mean, maybe it's a waste of money, because now you just pooped all of that out. Who cares? More important for me to feel like I've emptied my stomach. And now I feel like I can start and say, I'm on a clean slate, pun intended, So I had breakfast then, which is 10 to 4 or 10 to 3. 10 to 3, it looks like 10 to... Oh, it's 10 to 4. Looks like 10 to 3 on the clock. My clocks are so fucked. So I had pig fats. I was hoping to just do beef only for the whole month. And I do have cooked ground beef that was left over. It was supposed to be my dinner yesterday, but ended up not being hungry. So I had pig fat on my nut again, because everything worked so well. I like to capitalize whenever, because I'm always in a weight loss journey, when I find a window where I'm losing or whatever, I maximize it. Because you never know, right? So I'm like, why go and eat ground beef now? Do what you did yesterday. But I don't have any more mangat in beef, but I have plenty in pork, so I'm going to do that. And hopefully I just eat one more meal again. And I just want to get to that point where you lose a lot of weight already. I'm really looking for it. There's not a lot of before and after photos. Maybe I don't look for them. But there's not a lot of that, because apparently this lifestyle of carnivore, people do it for a lot of other reasons. Oh, by the way, my heels, they had a lot of calluses. I don't know if it's a seasonal thing or what. So sometimes it's nothing, and sometimes it's like, whoa. And it's starting to be warm. So I've been meaning to clean them up, but I hadn't gotten around to it. And I noticed yesterday that they're not as bad as they were before, and I hadn't even done anything to them. So I looked it up on the internet, and somebody said they had a callus in their hand from lifting weights, and it disappeared. So it'd be nice for my feet to soften and all the calluses to go away, because to be honest, I don't love them. The ones in the heels, because they come and go, it's fine. But there's other parts of the feet where it just reminds me that I continued to wear... No, I don't want to talk about it. But it reminds me of a time that I don't love in my life. So if those can go away, that would be awesome. I can feel a little bit of like headache, just there a little bit. But it's somewhere by my eyes, a little, and somewhere the usual one since I started this diet. I don't know if my headaches are from withdrawals of from tea. I did look that up intensely yesterday. I don't know if they're from withdrawing from soybean ingredient, because apparently that ingredient was in a lot of the stuff that I was eating, and I didn't even know. Like tofu or crock or whatever, butter, or was it margarine, I guess, or creamer. So I don't know if I'm really, it's withdrawing from that. I wasn't a very carbohydrate heavy person, but I did eat coconut flour, flaxseed flour, that kind of thing. Sometimes I'd mix it with cornmeal, just to be different, so that's carbs. But the other ones are just like, different ketogenic flours. Now we cut all of that. So I don't know what that's going to look like. Maybe this is what I'm dealing with now. It's so interesting because it's even hard to believe that I'm actually entering month 2 on this diet. The first month fleeted. Time is nothing. Time. I don't know who came up with that concept. It's nothing. I honestly cannot believe that I've been doing this for a month. I feel like I'm lying. Wow. Anyway, you know what? May has been a month. I'm ready for it to be over. We're starting June tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to starting it with a bang. I'm looking forward to having a nice June. Hopefully I can travel somewhere. I don't want to stay too long here in the house. I didn't go anywhere this month. It's more than a month and a half now that I haven't gone anywhere. So hopefully my car is fit enough to take me somewhere. Fingers crossed. Burping so much because of the position that I'm sitting in. So yeah, let me go. That's it. Appreciate you listening. Talk to you later.